In the year 2380, the galaxy was a vast, sprawling network of civilizations, each with its own culture, technology, and ambitions. Among these civilizations, none was more feared than the Carnath Empire. Known for their ruthless expansion and unparalleled technological prowess, the Carnath had terrorized countless worlds, subjugating entire species and leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. Earth, the heart of the United Earth Federation, UEF, had long been a beacon of hope and prosperity in a tumultuous galaxy. The people of Earth, confident in their technological advancements and military strength, believed themselves safe from the horrors that plagued other worlds. But this sense of security was shattered when the Carnath Empire set its sights on humanity's home. Captain David Kane of the UEF's Elite Special Forces Unit, Echo Squad, was stationed on the frontier world of Nova Terra when the first ominous signs of the Carnath invasion appeared. Nova Terra was a thriving colony, a symbol of humanity's reach into the stars. Kane, a seasoned soldier with a reputation for his strategic brilliance and unyielding resolve, found the routine patrols and training exercises a welcome respite from the front lines. As the twin suns of Nova Terra set, casting a warm glow over the colony, an urgent transmission crackled over the comms. Lieutenant Sarah Hayes, Echo Squad's communications officer, intercepted the message. "Captain Kane, we've got an incoming transmission from Earth. It's marked urgent," she said, her voice tinged with concern. Kane's brow furrowed as he moved to the communication console. "Patch it through, Lieutenant." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the stern face of Admiral Jonathan Hayes, the UEF's top military commander and Sarah's father. His expression was grave. "David, we have a situation," the Admiral began without preamble. "We've detected a massive Carnath fleet on an intercept course with Earth. They're moving fast and their intentions are clear. This is an invasion." Kane's heart sank. The Carnath had finally set their sights on Earth. "Understood, sir. What's our plan of action?" "We're mobilizing all available forces to defend Earth," Admiral Hayes replied. "Echo Squad is to return to Earth immediately. Your expertise will be crucial in the coming battle." Kane nodded. "We're on our way. We'll be ready." As the transmission ended, Kane turned to his team. "You heard the Admiral. We're heading home. Prepare for immediate departure." Echo Squad moved with practiced efficiency, gathering their gear and boarding their transport ship. The journey to Earth was tense, the atmosphere in the cabin thick with anticipation. Each member of the squad understood the gravity of the situation. They were heading into a battle that would determine the fate of their homeworld. Upon arrival, the scale of the Carnath threat became evident. The skies above Earth were filled with UEF warships, their sleek designs a stark contrast to the ominous bulk of the Carnath vessels. The space around Earth was a chaotic battlefield, with explosions and laser fire illuminating the darkness. Echo Squad was immediately deployed to the ground, tasked with defending key strategic points around the UEF command center in New Avalon, Earth's capital city. As they touched down, the city was already under siege, with Carnath soldiers engaging UEF forces in brutal urban warfare. Kane led his team through the war-torn streets, their objective clear: protect the command center at all costs. They moved swiftly, engaging Carnath troops and providing support to beleaguered UEF units. The fighting was intense, each corner and alleyway a potential ambush site. At the command center, Admiral Hayes briefed Kane and his team. "The Carnath are targeting our defense grid. If they take it down, they'll have full access to the city and its critical infrastructure. We need to hold them off and buy time for our engineers to reinforce the grid." Kane nodded. "We'll hold the line, sir." Echo Squad positioned themselves at the front lines, their advanced weaponry and combat skills proving invaluable. The Carnath forces were relentless, their bio-armor making them formidable opponents. But Echo Squad's determination and tactical acumen kept them in the fight. Amidst the chaos, Kane spotted a Carnath officer orchestrating the assault. Recognizing an opportunity to disrupt their command structure, he signaled to his team. "We take out that officer, we can slow their advance. Sarah, provide cover fire. Mark, flank them from the right. Let's move." The coordinated attack was swift and decisive. Sarah's precision shots pinned down the Carnath soldiers, while Mark's flanking maneuver caught them off guard. Kane engaged the officer directly, their combat a brutal dance of skill and strength. With a final decisive strike, Kane brought the officer down. The loss of their leader caused confusion among the Carnath troops, and Echo Squad pressed their advantage, driving the invaders back. As the immediate threat subsided, Kane received a transmission from Admiral Hayes. "Excellent work, Echo Squad. The defense grid is holding, but the battle is far from over. We've detected a large Carnath landing force approaching from the north. We need you to intercept them before they reach the city." Kane acknowledged the order. "We're on it, sir." The team moved quickly, navigating the devastated landscape to intercept the incoming Carnath force. As they approached, they saw the sheer scale of the enemy. Hundreds of Carnath soldiers, supported by armored vehicles and aerial drones, advanced with terrifying precision. Echo Squad set up a defensive position, using the terrain to their advantage. "We hold this line," Kane declared, "no matter what." The ensuing battle was a test of endurance and resolve. The Carnath forces were relentless, their superior numbers threatening to overwhelm Echo Squad. But the team fought with unmatched determination, their bond and training allowing them to hold the line against the seemingly endless tide. As the hours passed, the battle raged on. Exhaustion began to set in, but Kane's leadership and the squad's unbreakable spirit kept them fighting. Just as the situation seemed dire, reinforcements arrived. UEF troops, bolstered by heavy armor and air support, joined the fray, turning the tide in humanity's favor. With the combined strength of Echo Squad and the UEF reinforcements, the Carnath landing force was finally repelled. The battle had been won, but the cost was high. The city lay in ruins, and countless lives had been lost. In the aftermath, as the dust settled, Kane and his team regrouped. Admiral Hayes arrived, his expression a mixture of relief and sorrow. "You did it, David. You held the line." Kane nodded, his face grim, "but at a great cost. We need to ensure this never happens again." Hayes placed a hand on Kane's shoulder. "Agreed. And that's why we need you and Echo Squad to lead the charge. We must take the fight to the Carnath and end this threat, once and for all." As the team prepared for the next phase of their mission, Kane received a private communication from Dr. Eliza Kane, a leading scientist, and his estranged sister. Her voice was filled with urgency and determination. "David, I've been working on something that could turn the tide of this war," Eliza said. "I've developed a new type of weapon, one that can penetrate the Carnath's bio-armor, but I need your help to deploy it." Kane's eyes widened. "I'll do whatever it takes, Eliza. Where do we start?" Eliza explained the details of her project, outlining the need for a specialized strike team to infiltrate a heavily guarded Carnath research facility and retrieve critical data. The mission would be dangerous, but the potential payoff was too great to ignore. Kane brought the proposal to Admiral Hayes and Princess Eloria, who both recognized the importance of Eliza's work. With their support, Echo Squad prepared for a covert operation that could change the course of the war. The journey to the Carnath facility was fraught with danger. The team navigated through enemy patrols and automated defenses, using their training and Eliza's technical expertise to avoid detection. The facility itself was a fortress, its walls bristling with advanced weaponry and sensors. Inside, Echo Squad faced intense resistance. The Carnath guards were elite soldiers, their bio-armor making them nearly invincible. But with Eliza's guidance, the team used experimental weaponry to exploit weaknesses in the armor, turning the tide in their favor. As they reached the central laboratory, they found the data Eliza needed. But their presence had been detected, and a massive Carnath force was closing in. Kane knew they had to move quickly. "Download the data and set the charges," Kane ordered. "We're blowing this place and getting out." The team worked swiftly, extracting the data and planting explosives throughout the facility. The final moments were a blur of gunfire and explosions as Echo Squad fought their way to the extraction point. Just as the facility began to collapse, they boarded their transport and escaped into the night. Back on Earth, the data was analyzed and the new weaponry was put into production. The tide of the war began to turn as UEF and Zolorian forces used the advanced weapons to penetrate the Carnath's defenses. Admiral Hayes addressed a gathering of UEF and Zolorian leaders, his voice filled with pride and determination. Today, we have struck a decisive blow against the Carnath Empire. Our unity and resolve have proven that we are stronger together. This is the beginning of the end for their reign of terror. Princess Eloria echoed his sentiments. The bravery and sacrifice of our soldiers have paved the way for a new era. We must honor their legacy by working together to build a future where all can thrive. Kane and Eloria stood together, reflecting on their journey. They had faced unimaginable challenges and forged an unbreakable bond. Their partnership had not only saved their people, but had also set the stage for a lasting peace. "We did it," Eloria said softly, her eyes shining with emotion. "Yes, we did," Kane replied, his heart filled with a sense of accomplishment and hope. "And this is just the beginning." The story of Captain David Kane and Princess Eloria was one of bravery, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. They had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity's spirit could not be broken. The war against the Carnath Empire was far from over, but the fight for a better future continued. In the aftermath of the battle for Earth, the UEF and Zolorian Empire found themselves in a precarious position. The initial victory had boosted morale, but the Carnath Empire was still a formidable force, regrouping and preparing for a counterattack. It was clear that a defensive strategy would only prolong the inevitable. They needed to go on the offensive and dismantle the Carnath from within. Captain David Kane and Echo Squad had earned a brief respite, but were quickly called back into action. A new mission was at hand, one that required precision, bravery, and a touch of luck. Admiral Jonathan Hayes, Princess Eloria, and the top brass of the UEF and Zolorian military convened to discuss a piece of unexpected and potentially game-changing intelligence. "We've received communication from a high-ranking Carnath defector," Admiral Hayes announced, his voice filled with cautious optimism. "He claims to have critical information about the Carnath's plans and weaknesses. We've arranged a meeting, but we must approach this with extreme caution. It could be a trap." Princess Eloria, who had become a key figure in the alliance, nodded. "We can't afford to ignore this opportunity. If the information is genuine, it could give us the upper hand." Kane, ever the strategist, leaned forward. "Where's the meeting?" "In the Wraith Nebula," Hayes replied. "It's a remote, lawless region. The defector believes it's the safest place for him to meet us without Carnath interference." Kane understood the risks. The Wraith Nebula was notorious for its treacherous conditions and pirate activity, but the potential reward was too great to ignore. "Echo Squad will handle it," he said decisively. Preparations for the mission were swift. Echo Squad, along with Princess Eloria, boarded their stealth ship and set course for the Wraith Nebula. The journey was tense, each member of the team aware of the delicate nature of their task. As they approached the nebula, the ship's cloaking technology engaged, rendering them nearly invisible to sensors. The nebula itself was a swirling mass of dark clouds and ionized gas, creating a perfect cover for covert operations, but also a navigational nightmare. "Keep your eyes peeled," Kane instructed. "This place is crawling with danger." Lieutenant Sarah Hayes monitored the sensors, her expression focused. "We're approaching the coordinates. No signs of enemy activity so far." The ship descended into the nebula, its advanced navigation systems guiding it through the hazardous environment. They arrived at a small, abandoned space station, a relic of a bygone era. The station was dark and silent, floating eerily amidst the cosmic storm. As Echo Squad disembarked and made their way inside, they were met with the sight of a lone Carnath officer. He was unarmed, his posture non-threatening, yet there was an air of tension about him. "I am Commander Thalrak," he introduced himself, his voice resonating with both authority and weariness. "I come seeking asylum and to offer you information that can change the course of this war." Kane's eyes narrowed as he studied Thalrak. "Why defect now? What's changed?" Thalrak's expression was one of resignation. "The Carnath Empire is not the monolith you believe it to be. There are fractures within its leadership, dissent among its ranks. I have seen the suffering and destruction we've caused, and I can no longer be part of it. I bring you detailed schematics of their primary command center on Carnath Prime, and information on their fleet movements and supply lines." Princess Eloria stepped forward, her voice firm but inquisitive. "And why should we trust you, Commander Thalrak?" Thalrak met her gaze with sincerity. "Because I seek redemption for the horrors I've been part of, and because the Carnath Empire, as it stands, is doomed to collapse from within. I believe your cause is just, and I want to help you succeed." After a thorough vetting process and extensive questioning, Thalrak's information was verified. The details he provided were precise and aligned with existing UEF and Zolorian intelligence, offering crucial insights into the Carnath's weaknesses. With this newfound intelligence, the War Council reconvened to strategize their next moves. The plan was ambitious: a coordinated strike on multiple key targets within Carnath space, aimed at crippling their ability to wage war and sowing further discord among their leadership. Admiral Hayes addressed the gathered leaders. "We have a unique opportunity to strike a decisive blow. The information provided by Commander Thalrak gives us the edge we need. Our primary objective is the command center on Carnath Prime. If we can take it, we can disrupt their entire command structure." Princess Eloria added, "This will not be easy. The Carnath's defenses are formidable, and we must be prepared for heavy resistance. But if we succeed, it could end this war once and for all." Kane, now more determined than ever, took the lead in planning the ground assault. Echo Squad would infiltrate the command center, disable critical systems, and extract high-value targets. Their mission would be the linchpin of the entire operation. The days leading up to the assault were filled with intense preparations. Echo Squad trained rigorously, familiarizing themselves with the schematics and rehearsing their plan of attack. Thalrak provided invaluable insights, helping them anticipate the Carnath's defenses and tactics. On the eve of the assault, Kane gathered his team for a final briefing. The gravity of the mission was clear, but so was their resolve. "We've faced the Carnath before, and we've come out on top," Kane said, his voice steady. "This time, we're going to finish the job. Stick to the plan, watch each other's backs, and remember what we're fighting for. Let's end this." The journey to Carnath Prime was tense, each moment bringing them closer to the heart of the enemy's power. The UEF and Zolorian fleets engaged the Carnath Armada, their combined firepower creating a pathway for the ground forces to land. Echo Squad, along with Thalrak, led the charge. The approach to the command center was heavily defended, but the element of surprise and Thalrak's insider knowledge gave them an edge. The battle was fierce and chaotic. The Carnath defenders fought with a desperate ferocity, knowing that the fall of their command center would be a devastating blow. Kane and his team moved with precision, their training and camaraderie guiding them through the intense firefight. As they breached the outer defenses and entered the command center, the true scale of the Carnath's technological prowess became apparent. Advanced security systems and automated defenses challenged their every step. Thalrak proved invaluable, guiding them through the complex and disabling critical systems. "This way," he urged, leading them toward the central control room. In the final confrontation, Kane and Eloria faced the Carnath Supreme Commander, Lord Korath. The confrontation was intense, a clash of ideals and wills as much as a physical battle. "You dare to challenge the Carnath Empire?" Korath sneered, his voice dripping with contempt. "You are but insects to be crushed under our heel." Kane's resolve hardened. "We fight for freedom, for the right to determine our own fate. Your reign of terror ends here." The battle was brutal, but Echo Squad's determination and teamwork proved decisive. With a final coordinated effort, they brought Korath down and secured the command center. As the dust settled, the impact of their victory began to sink in. The fall of Carnath Prime sent shockwaves through the Carnath Empire, disrupting their command structure and sowing chaos among their forces. Back on Earth, the victory was celebrated with a mixture of relief and solemn reflection. The war against the Carnath Empire was finally turning in their favor. The galaxy could begin the process of healing and rebuilding. Admiral Hayes addressed a gathering of UEF and Zolorian leaders, his voice filled with pride and determination. "Today we have struck a decisive blow against tyranny. Our unity and resolve have proven that we are stronger together. Let this be the foundation for a future of peace and cooperation." Princess Eloria echoed his sentiments. "The bravery and sacrifice of our soldiers have paved the way for a new era. We must honor their legacy by working together to build a future where all can thrive." Kane and Eloria stood together, reflecting on their journey. They had faced unimaginable challenges and forged an unbreakable bond. Their partnership had not only saved their people, but it also set the stage for a lasting peace. "We did it," Eloria said softly, her eyes shining with emotion. "Yes, we did," Kane replied, his heart filled with a sense of accomplishment and hope. "And this is just the beginning." The story of Captain David Kane and Princess Eloria was one of bravery, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. They had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity's spirit could not be broken. The war against the Carnath Empire was far from over, but the fight for a better future continued. With the fall of Carnath Prime, the balance of power in the galaxy had shifted. The Carnath Empire, once an unassailable force, was now reeling from the loss of its command center and the death of its supreme commander, Lord Korath. The United Earth Federation, UEF, and the Zalorian Empire, emboldened by their victory, prepared for the final phase of the war. Despite the decisive blow dealt to the Carnath, Captain David Kane and Princess Eloria knew the fight was far from over. The remnants of the Carnath leadership had retreated to fortified positions across their empire, rallying their forces for a desperate counterattack. The path to lasting peace would be fraught with danger and sacrifice. Back on Earth, the atmosphere was a mix of cautious optimism and steely determination. The War Council, comprised of UEF and Zalorian leaders, gathered to plan the next steps. Admiral Jonathan Hayes addressed the assembly, his voice carrying the weight of their collective resolve. "Ladies and gentlemen, our victory on Carnath Prime has given us a significant advantage, but the Carnath are far from defeated. Their remaining forces are concentrated in the Helios cluster, a region known for its strategic importance and formidable defenses. Our objective is to dismantle their remaining strongholds and bring an end to their reign of terror." Princess Eloria stepped forward, her presence commanding respect. "We must strike swiftly and decisively. The Carnath's strength lies in their organization and advanced technology. If we can liberate the Helios cluster, we can cripple their capacity to wage war." Kane, standing beside Eloria, added, "Echo Squad will lead the ground assault. We'll target key installations and disrupt their command structure. Our success depends on coordination and the element of surprise." The Council approved the plan, and preparations began immediately. The UEF and Zalorian fleets mobilized, their ships converging on the Helios cluster. The scale of the operation was unprecedented, a testament to the unity and determination of their alliance. As Echo Squad prepared for the mission, Kane gathered his team for a final briefing. The stakes were higher than ever, but their resolve was unshakable. "We've faced the Carnath before, and we've come out on top," Kane said, his voice firm. "This time, we're going to finish the job. Stick to the plan, watch each other's backs, and remember what we're fighting for. Let's end this." The journey to the Helios cluster was tense, the anticipation of the coming battle palpable. As they approached the enemy stronghold, the enormity of their task became clear. The Carnath defenses were formidable, their ships and ground installations bristling with weaponry. The assault began with a coordinated strike from the combined UEF and Zalorian fleets. Advanced fighters and bombers targeted key installations, while ground forces prepared for a series of strategic landings. The battle was fierce, each side fighting with everything they had. Echo Squad's mission was to infiltrate the primary command bunker, a heavily fortified structure buried deep within the Carnath's main base. With Thalrak's guidance, they navigated the treacherous terrain, avoiding detection and neutralizing patrols. As they approached the bunker, the scale of the Carnath's defenses became apparent. Automated turrets, minefields, and heavily armed guards blocked their path. But Echo Squad moved with precision, using their advanced training and Thalrak's insider knowledge to outmaneuver the defenses. Inside the bunker, the team faced intense resistance. The corridors were a maze of security systems and traps, each step a potential hazard. But Kane's leadership and the squad's unbreakable camaraderie guided them through the dangers. Finally, they reached the central control room, where the remaining Carnath leadership was gathered. The confrontation was inevitable. The Carnath officers, desperate and cornered, fought with a ferocity born of desperation. The battle was intense and brutal. Kane and Eloria fought side by side, their skills complementing each other as they faced the Carnath's elite guards. Thalrak proved invaluable, disabling security systems and providing critical support. In the end, Echo Squad's determination and strategic brilliance prevailed. The Carnath officers were defeated, their command structure dismantled. The fall of the Helios cluster marked the end of the Carnath's ability to wage war. As the dust settled, Kane and Eloria stood amidst the ruins of the command center. The realization of their victory began to sink in, a mix of relief and exhaustion washing over them. "We did it," Eloria said, her voice filled with emotion. "We've won!" Kane nodded, his expression a mixture of pride and solemnity. "Yes, but at a great cost. We must honor those who fought and died for this victory." Back on Earth, the news of their triumph was met with celebrations and a renewed sense of hope. The war against the Carnath Empire was finally over. The galaxy could begin the process of healing and rebuilding. Admiral Hayes addressed a gathering of UEF and Zalorian leaders, his voice filled with pride and determination. "Today we have achieved a great victory. The Carnath Empire's reign of terror has come to an end. Our unity and resolve have proven that we are stronger together. Let this be the foundation for a future of peace and cooperation." Princess Eloria echoed his sentiments. "The bravery and sacrifice of our soldiers have paved the way for a new era. We must honor their legacy by working together to build a future where all can thrive." Kane and Eloria stood together, reflecting on their journey. They had faced unimaginable challenges and forged an unbreakable bond. Their partnership had not only saved their people, but had also set the stage for a lasting peace. "We did it," Eloria said softly, her eyes shining with emotion. "Yes, we did," Kane replied, his heart filled with a sense of accomplishment and hope. "And this is just the beginning." The story of Captain David Kane and Princess Eloria was one of bravery, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. They had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity's spirit could not be broken. The war against the Carnath Empire was over, but the fight for a better future continued. Thus ended the third chapter of their journey, with new challenges, alliances, and discoveries awaiting them in the chapters to come. The end.